we are building a camping trailer from scratch. It is an all-wood construction on a 2-inch galvanized square tube steel frame. Welcome to our escapades. Ursula is the navigator, my name is Dieter, and I'm the wheelman. So, any questions? No questions. Ah, that's great. The solar panel, the batteries and the inverter are one component of the new trailer. And this is what we're talking about in this video. Our initial plan was based on 2 deep cycle lead acid batteries. 2 batteries, 100 amps each. The cost for both are about $550 at Canadian Tire, and the weight is 54 kilograms. We already have a MotoMaster Nautilus battery from Canadian Tire. It is in our small 13-foot ProLite trailer, and we never really had an issue with that. For the new trailer, we decided to go with lithium batteries. We do camp in low temperatures, and it is important that the batteries work below freezing. And that was one of our biggest concerns. Now, we are not sponsored by any company, so all the thoughts and ideas are from our own research and experience. So we found a solution from Canbat, a battery manufacturing company out of British Columbia. Canbat has a cold weather lithium iron phosphate battery, and the price was acceptable. More about the company and the battery later. Our selection criteria for the battery were as follows. First, the battery must work in winter. Second, the batteries are connected parallel. That means we're gonna have 12 volt, double the amps. They must be able to power a 120 volt, 2000 watt inverter. The price has to be reasonable. Recycling of the depleted battery was also important. The DC voltage, that's the 12 volt voltage, should not drop below 11.8 volts. And the weight was a factor too. So what about item 5, recycling? Recycling a lithium battery is still a little bit a questionable issue. There are solutions out there, but we are not able to recover all the materials in a lithium battery yet. And it is also not as well established as the lead acid. These ones can be recycled pretty much 99%. Now, item 7, weight. It was a factor as well. The batteries sit in front of the trailer on the tongue. We already have a 14 kilogram generator on there, and reducing the tongue weight was really important. So reducing it by 30 kilograms, it is critical. Now the price was a concern. Now in early 2025, the batteries we bought are about 4 times as expensive as a lead acid batteries. The last reason that tipped the balance toward the lithium battery was Canbat. That's the company that manufactures the battery we bought. Our questions with the chatbot on their website were answered immediately, both pre-sales and post-sales. And elbows up, we prefer Canadian companies and we do support them. When we placed the order, both batteries were back-ordered, in our case 7 weeks, and we accepted the terms. They were sent out around that time, and it took 1 more week for the transport from British Columbia to Ontario. All good, we didn't need the batteries until early April. They arrived in padded boxes and in good condition. Overall, we are very happy with the batteries so far and their service. A few more thoughts on lithium iron phosphate batteries. They are marketed with 5,000 recharge cycles. They have a lower risk of fire, even so they can catch fire. Considering the application, the battery is in front of the trailer and exposed to physical stress like shaking and vibrations, as well as heat above 45 degrees Celsius, and obviously below freezing as well. The battery has a temperature sensor, and the battery management system will shut down the battery if it's critical. Last year, we were doing some tests with solar generators, but they did not work as expected. It was our first consideration to put one of them into the trailer and sort of have a hands-off solution for our power needs. And with all the problems we had, we decided to buy the individual components. And this gets us into the details of the components. Okay, that's the obviously inside of the trailer. I am sitting now on the frame of the trailer. Now, the thing you see here, this is the actual floor. We have boxes underneath, and the sleeping platform is right there, which again is the height of these boxes. So ultimately we have about that space to, well, sit up eventually. The sleeping platform can fold back, so we will have plenty of room to maneuver around. But that's not why we're here today. Today we're talking about the electrical. Underneath here, or here actually, is the battery box and the generator. The wires come up here, and all the equipment is mounted right here. So this will take up about 4 inches in depth. There will also be a lot of switches to turn on the lights and whatever else we need. So in short, this is the electrical control center right here. So now we are ready to look at the individual components. All the cables are here, all the pieces are here, so it is time to start up the system. The core of the system is the solar charge controller. This is the EPEver 40 amps extra MPPT controller. The controller has to match the solar panels in terms of capacity, battery voltage and everything. So I'm not going to go into the technical details on what we have set up here. When I ordered the solar panels and the controller, I left it up to the supplier to match the components up. When I chose the solar panel, I had to make sure they fit on width and length of the trailer. The only ones I found that had some sort of a fit were 275 watt panels. The panels are in series, so they plug together up on the roof, and then the 2 cables come down and feed right into the controller here. On the way down, I have an on-off switch, so anytime I can turn off the power from the roof, from the solar panels, so there is no power coming in here. But before we connect them or activate them, you have to follow the manual in what sequence they have to be powered up. It is very important, or it may actually damage the controller. The EPEver manual says first thing you do is you take the batteries, you connect them into the controller. Right now they are still disconnected here. The batteries feed into the box here. The battery cable comes in here, goes through a switch, goes through a fuse, and then terminate on this copper plate here. So I can individually turn on and off the 2 batteries. From here, the power goes to the charge controller, and the other cable, which has the full power from the battery, goes into the inverter. It does not go through the charge controller. I hope that this afternoon we actually can make a coffee on the Nespresso machine. The whole purpose, well, one of the main purposes, I must say, to get this inverter was actually the coffee machine. Then the next part is the regular 12-volt power in the trailer. It comes out from the charge controller, first goes into a fuse box, and from the fuse box it is then distributed to switches. The switches then power lights and fans and whatever else we have in there. Okay, everything is set up. I powered up the batteries first. It showed up as 13.1 volts. Next, I powered up the solar panels, so I flipped the switch to on. Then the inverter comes on without an error. Anyway, so far everything is successful. So let's get the batteries fully loaded. Oh yeah, by the way, when I set up the solar system here, I mean, yeah, we need sunshine. I assumed that the sunshine refers to the solar panel and not the equipment, hence my fancy, well, umbrella here. And while the coffee machine is going, we'll talk about a few more items to cross off the checklist. Charge controller. Following the manual, I had to change the amp rating to 200 amps, since I'm running 2 batteries. Second, the charge controller has a remote battery temperature sensor. Place it on the battery. Third, there is no app for the phone. Solar panels. There are solar disconnect switches for solar panels that cut power on both cables. Second, add an inline fuse on the plus side of the solar panel to protect your equipment. And don't forget to get spare fuses. Inverter. This inverter produces 117.3 volts and is well within the 5% tolerance. Second, our inverter is fused internally. Third, we may add an on-off switch, but this model has an off switch built in. 4. Read the manual on what not to plug in. Some battery chargers are excluded, as well as night lights. Fifth, this inverter comes with a remote panel. And lastly, no app for the phone. Batteries. We added switches and a fuse for each battery. Second, the batteries have an app to check the status of charge and more. Third, battery health stats not communicating with the solar controller. Cables. We use 2-gauge cables for batteries and inverter. Second, to save money, we bought a 20-foot 2-gauge car jumper cable for $30 and added ring terminals. Third, based on wire size calculators on the internet, the 2-gauge is sufficient for 200 amps up to 8 feet. We will publish more updates on the trailer over the next few weeks. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you out there.